3, 2, 1. Sync.
All right.
Hi, I'm Erick. This is an interview. We have Leify Green. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, Eric. How about yourself?
Great to have you here. You are a musician. You have a band. What's the name of your band?
My band is called Leify Green and the Various Vikings.
Oh, awesome. How long have you been doing, music?
Music, I've been doing music my whole life since I was about 3, I think, is when my parents were like, hey, you got to take music lessons. And so I started playing the violin because my uncle played. He's a fiddle player. So I started doing that. Playing music professionally, more like 2022? 12 years now.
Okay.
And then with this particular bunch of guys, it's really come together slowly over the last year and a half.
Now you said the Various Vikings.
Yes.
What makes them various, and why are they Vikings?
They're various because it's kind of been a rotating cast, and it's over time it's sort of solidified. We've got our sort of core members now, but when it initially started, it was actually someone had booked me, the North End Tap House in Gulfport, but they wanted me to play every Thursday as a solo act, and I said, well, I'm going to get bored with that, and the crowd's going to get bored with that. Gulfport's tiny; they're not going to come to see the same show every Thursday night.
Yeah.
But what if? And I like to collaborate with people, and there's a bunch of talent around. What if I feature somebody different each week? And so I started inviting musicians to come play. And so I had Jay Violin, I had Trey Sacker, I had Luis, I had Elias, I had a bunch of people come through. And the guys I just listed became my kind of favorites. And so I started piecing them together in what became this band. And then we still have kind of one rotating seat. So we've got our core 4,
okay.
And then the 5th man is or woman. I haven't had a woman yet in the band, but it's it could be. But yeah, we got a 5th seat open, so it kind of brings in a different flavor each time.
What's your favorite part about performing live?
I think it's the spontaneity of it.
Okay.
Anything can happen, especially when you have more people playing with you. You add one more person, and you can dialogue with that person, and then a third person. Now there's a different conversation happening. So you get 4 or 5 musicians together that all know how to listen to each other and respond. And I don't know what's going to happen at the beginning of the show, and that's exciting to me.
Yeah, that spontaneity. What could happen? Where could we take this? As a whole, as a unit, and whatnot. Now, you guys are working on a live album right now.
Yeah.
Joshua's mixing that. What's the next step for you guys?
The next step is finish the live album and release it. Right after that, or even probably during that process, honestly. I think once we've finished mixing this live album and we're preparing for the release, we're going to be getting in the studio to work on a proper studio album.
Okay.
The live album's been great, though. Joshua's mix it's sounding amazing.
Yeah.
It's like it sounds like a studio record, and then you get to the end and you get this audience applause. Or we finish an epic solo and you hear people reacting to it, and you're like, wait, this is happening live.
Oh wow.
So I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be it's a real album, but we want to follow up right after that with a full studio release. That'll be the next step after we finish mixing this.
Is this going to be your first studio release?
As a band, yes. Yeah. As an artist, no. I've got a couple of previous studio releases, but I think this is going to probably be my most. This is going to be the one that I've worked the hardest on, and I've got the most high-powered team that I've had together. I had a good team in the past as well, but I was kind of living on the road all over the United States, and so I was recording in different studios with different musicians and had kind of different people in every place I was, and so it was a real challenge to kind of pull it all together in one unified project. And I think I pulled it off pretty well, but this is going to be the first time that I've sat down with a core band and done a whole album start to finish in a studio. So that will be a first for me.
That sounds cool, man. That sounds cool. What are some of your musical influences? What do you think? What do you take cues from? What do you try to recreate or invoke of the feeling within your music?
Yeah, I have a lot. Like I said, I started playing violin when I was 3 because my uncle is an Irish fiddle player. So that's some of the early music that I was listening to, but I was listening to that and then also listening to like classical and jazz and classic rock and all kinds of other stuff. Dave Matthews was in there pretty early. I'm from Charlottesville originally.
Okay.
My dad, grew up there. Went to high school there.
Cool,
so
cool.
we got roots there. So that was an early influence. Hendrix was another favorite. Led Zeppelin. So those are in the influences, but I don't think I particularly sound a lot like those artists. But they're definitely. Those are things that I've listened to. I listened to Latin music for a long time, and I still do. But I lived in.
I heard you speaking some Spanish on here.
Doing poquito. Yeah. That song was actually written about a time when I lived in Peru.
Okay.
And so that's when that was a big musical influence for me back then. I actually played in a cajon ensemble in Lima.
Nice. That must have been a really cool experience.
Yeah. Getting all the traditional kind of Afro-Peruvian rhythms and stuff, learning that, landos and things like it was definitely a big influence.
That's cool.
And then I think another big one for me is kind of like coffee shop folk in general.
Okay.
As a teenager, I grew. So I lived in Virginia initially, and then we moved to Maryland. So I spent high school in Frederick, Maryland, and there was a little coffee shop downtown, Frederick Coffee Company, and they'd have small touring acts would come through, some national acts, but on that tiny coffee shop circuit.
Yeah.
And I would go there and just kind of sit and take it in, and I loved it. And I was like, man, I think that's the first time where I was like, I really want to do that someday. I want to give somebody else that experience that I'm having right now. I had some hard times in high school being a teenager, like most of us. And just connecting with music at that point was pretty huge for me. So that was kind of one of my first I want to be basically a folk singer, I guess, and tell stories and sing songs and get people through those hard times.
Nice.
So that's in there.
Nice. I think the last question I'll have for you is, if you could work with any musician, player, singer, producer, who would you like to work with the most?
Anybody ever?
Anybody.
Oh man.
You got obviously alive. Let's not break the rule or anything, but if you could work with any musical person, whether that be a player, singer, producer, someone behind the scenes, what would be your ideal situation?
Oh, that's hard to pick. The first name that came to mind though was John Frusciante. One of my all-time heroes, both as a guitarist and a songwriter and producer and all, just as an artist. I think as an artist as overall, as a musical artist, he's one of maybe my top all-time favorite.
Okay.
So I would, if I could collaborate with him, that would make my life. So, definitely some other awesome ones that I would like to collaborate with. But if I get this is your one wish for collaboration, and I can pick anybody, I think he'd be the one.
Okay. Well, that has been Duprey Studio Interviews. Leify Green, go check him out. Where can they find you, social media?
LeifyGreen.com, Leify Green. Oh yeah, we never answered why it's the Vikings.
My
name Leif. I'm named after Leif Erikson, the Viking explorer, discovered America. Long time ago. And my parents, I guess, wanted me to be an explorer. So here I am exploring music. But Leify Green, LeifyGreen.com is the best place to find me and us.
All right, guys, go check them out.